Hello friends, in this video I am going to explain how to use a data set in a data flow. So as usually I am creating a new data flow, test 90, and my class name is work test class, or if you want you can choose another class as well. Work test class, click on create and open. As usually this data flow also processing the set of records, but this time I am selecting a source as not a report definition. I am selecting a source as a data set. So see this one, import data from, what is the source? Abstract data flow, data set and report definition. I am selecting a data set. Here you can choose any existing data set, or if you want you can create a new data set. So I am selecting a data set as test 7. Just open the test 7. So what is the data set type? This is also RDBMS database table. RDBMS database table. That means the source for this first of all, the source for this data flow is a data set, and the source for the data set is a database table. That means the system is fetching the data from a database table and kept it in a data set. This data set is become a source to this data flow. Ultimately, when you run this data flow, the source for this data flow is a data set, and already this data set is already having a set of data. If you want to understand more about the dataset configurations, I already uploaded a video in the channel about the dataset. There are two types of datasets. One is stream related, another one is non-stream related things. So that's why this is a database table. This is a database table. If you want, you can also, just for quick recap, test. I'm going to create a new data set, test 99. Click on create and open. See this one, the data set type is DBM, database management. That means how do you store a data into a data set? What is the source to this data set and what type of data it is? Okay, file system, social, stream. I already explained about some of the data types, this type of data sets in my previous video. So now here as usually I am selecting a database table and click on create and open. That's it. See, these are the configurations by default based on this class. By default based on this class, and this class is mapped to this database table. That's why the source for this data set is a database table. Automatically, the data is fetching from this table. The data is fetching from this table. So just click on save. But selectable keys, what is the selectable keys and partition keys? If you want to understand more about, please go through my video. Here keys are nothing but a PYID or PZIN scheme. Uh, Basically, what is the class keys? What is the class keys? Now, I already created a data set. I already created a data set test 7. See, the data set type is a database table, and database type is RDBMS. Now open. See, uh, same work class, and the PYID is the key. If you want, you can run this data set as a standalone. Click on run. What is the operation? Browse operation, right? Because you want to fetch the data and kept it in a data set. You want to fetch the data from a database table and kept it in a data set. Data set, a collection of data. Browse operation, how many number of records you want to read from a database table? 50 records or 10 records or 100 records? Store a result in a which page? This is nothing but a clipboard page. Click on run. So ultimately 50 records. See this one, px result 1. These are the set of properties. Remember this point, only exposed columns. only exposed columns. Okay, result 2, result 3, etc. That means I am going to use the same data set as a source. Now this data set is having the set of records which are nothing but 50. So now come back here, test 7 database table, and source is RDBMS. Click on submit. Now, for this data flow, what is the input or what is the source here? Data set. And what is the source of the data set? A database table, work table. So the data is fetching from the database table and kept it in a data set, and the data set is become a source as this to this data flow. Now I'm not applying any transformation steps here. Directly click on test. This is the destination configuration, output to a case. Here what is, again, if you want to, no, I don't want to create a data set, sorry, I don't want to create a case for each and every record. I want to uh, push the data into another data set. I want to place a data. I want to place whatever the data I'm fetching, keep it in another data set. Yes, if you want, you can do it also. But right now, I want to use, click on create a case and select a case type or test. I don't want to do any mapping. Click on submit. Save. Before going to that, before run this data flow, let's verify how many number of records. First of all, how many number of records, even test. Okay, where is this? Okay, test. For this test case type, how many number of records? 1 to 5. For each and every page, 5 records, 50 records. So 100, 150, 200, almost 250, assuming. Okay, so total 250 records. Out of this 250 records, I am fetching only 50 records. I am fetching only 50 records to in the data set. Actions, click on run. Background processing, test tab, etc. Click on submit. New data flow run instance got created. Start. So total number of records is 241. So small mistake, when you run the data set, right? When I run the data set, I selected as a 50 records, but here the data set contains, yeah, total number of records. The data set contains 241 records. So successfully processed the 241 record. See this one, data flow test 90, and component is this. See this one, component is a test 7. What is that source? Which is a data set which is having the input records is 241, successful records is 241. Finally the destination 241 cases got created. Now if you want, you can fresh. So when you run the data set as standalone, right, you selected as a maximum number of records is 50, but when you configure it in the data flow, it will process 241 records. Now just click on refresh. Whether the 241 cases got created or not, we will see. See, this time 10 pages. So obviously created. I hope you understand this video how to use the data set in a data flow. Thank you.